What's up, guys? This is Dino here, and today I'll be beginning a brand new series. This is something that I wanted to do for ever since the trailer came out, but there was not enough substance to begin with. And yeah, I thought that I would wait until the official games were released, but I was like too excited, and I think that at this point of time, I'm recording this on 19th December. 19 December 10:55 p.m. That's the Indian Standard Time. So it's like I guess in the US it's one day before it. Yeah, so we are still about 10 days or so away from the official release, if I'm not mistaken, because it said early January. So I'm taking the earliest, I think that's 1st Jan or something. I really think they will release it on the New Year. So I will also be dropping this video on the New Year. Keep in mind this is being recorded on 19th December. So if there are any changes, I will make retcons accordingly. And I know that I am this it's an educated guess. This video will most probably draw in new viewers. So if you are new here, I always listen to suggestions as long as they don't involve flooding teams with popular Pokemon. Just just putting it out there. And I hope you guys enjoy a happy and prosperous new year and be safe, secure, and whatever resolutions you have, feel free to drop them in the comment section. It's safe. It's a safe place. You won't be judged, and just like it's voluntary. If you have a New Year's resolution, let's get there together. All right. So with that all out of the way, let's begin. What if Ash was born in the Hisui region, or as you would know, in the Pokemon Legends Arceus timeline? Let us begin. Ash is a 14-year-old kid living in the Jubilife village. He lived with his mother who owned a flower shop. And just like the other kids of his age, he is now eligible to be a part of the Galaxy Expedition team. His dream is to one day lead the Survey Corps, who are responsible for traveling across the vast unseen landscape of the Hisui region and gather info on how Pokemon live and interact with each other. Of course, there are other options such as the Medical Corps and the Security Corps, but for Ash, the Survey Corps is where he wants to be because adventure and knowing the unknown is where his heart truly lies, and also because of another reason which will be revealed later on. And today was the day where he gets his chance to qualify for the survey team. But just like the case in some distant parallel universe, our hero has woken up late as he rushes towards the Galaxy building, which is about a kilometer or so away from his house. Hoping the qualifying tests have not yet begun, he rushes into the room to find three people waiting for him: his friends, Rei and Akari, his rival slash friend Gary, and the leader of the survey corps, Captain Silen. The captain was a strict lady, both to her students as well as herself. She took her work extremely seriously but had a caring side for those working under her command. But Ash was damn sure he won't get to see her caring side after being so late. She glared at him coldly before stating, "Ketchum, you dodged a bullet. A minute more of delay and you'd have been disqualified from the selection process." Ash nervously apologized as Gary smirked at him in a mocking manner. Ray tried to cover for Ash by saying that he was sick the day before, so he woke up late, but gets cut off mid-sentence by Silence's cold stare. She goes on to explain the workings of the Survey Corps and tells them that only three of the four of them will qualify her and get their starters, meaning the one with the lowest marks will be eliminated. Gary points towards Ash, saying that means no Pokemon for you, Ashy boy. Silent turns her attention towards Gary. "Oh, do you wish to clean the entire Galaxy building instead of taking the test?" she asks Gary, and he just immediately shuts up. Silent then reveals to them the three starter Pokemon: the fire type Cyndaquil, the grass type Rowlet, and the water type Oshawott. Ray excitedly asks Ash which will he be picking, and Ash excitedly says that he thought about this a lot and he has decided on the water type Oshawott. Silent leads them to a field where the qualifying test is about to take place. She explains to them the concept of a Pokeball and how difficult it is to make a Pokeball, and they should use them wisely and try not to waste them while exploring. She then gives them a brief explanation on how to use a Pokeball to capture a wild Pokemon. Ash asks her if instead of trapping them in a ball, can they befriend Pokemon instead. Silent replies by saying that 100 people before him have tried to befriend Pokemon, and there are 100 bodies buried in the cemetery. This statement makes Ash gulp. She then leads them to a training yard which had three moving targets. She explains that they need to be efficient in hitting moving targets because Pokemon don't stay stationary. Gary is up first, and through impressive aim and precision, he hits all three targets right in the middle, earning the full 30 points. He then turns to Ash once again, mocking him by saying that he won't be able to hit a single point in this. Akari is up next and manages to hit all three targets as well, just not in the middle. This earns her 27 points, 9 points for each. Ray is next, and he manages to hit two targets, earning him 18 points. And that leaves us with Ash. And well, he misses all three, thus earning 0 points in this particular test. Silent sighs, telling him that if he really wants a starter, he needs to make up for this in the next two rounds. And Ash hesitantly nods. Before starting the second test, Silent explains to them the importance of having a Pokemon capable of flying. That way, they can cover long distances quickly without getting tired. She asks all of them to stand back and sends out her majestic bravery and tells them that the second test will be a flying test where they will have to fly using bravery as a transport. Ash is the first and he sighs, having not so pleasant experiences with the flying type. Once he accidentally poured porridge onto its fur when it was still a rufflet, and the Pokemon had held a grudge against him ever since. As the test is about to begin, Ash pleads with the Pokemon to not mess this up and promises to buy it a week's supply of bird food if it complies. And to his surprise, it actually listens, and the flight was going good, really good, too good in fact, too good to be true. Ash thought this as he looked up at Braviary to see a sinister look on its face. It then dove in at high speed and crashed Ash into the ground, just inches short of the finishing line. Silen said it was a good effort, but she could only give him 15 points for this, as he did not cross the finish line. The test commenced, and Akari was the one to score the perfect 30 this time, as her flight with the Bravery went perfectly. Gary came in second with 25 points, and Ray failed miserably with only 10 points, performing worse than Ash. However, Ash was still in the fourth place by overall standings. For the final test, Silent sent out her Electivire and explained that in this test, points will be awarded on the basis of abilities to avoid a Pokemon attack. Once again, Akari performs very well, earning 20 points. Gary comes first with another perfect 30 points, and Ray with 16 points. So the final standings were Ash with 15, Ray with 44, Akari with 77, and Gary with 85. This meant that Ash had to score a perfect 30 to come in at third place, or at least 29 to tie with Ray. He knew that this was his final chance at qualifying, and he had to do it, even if it meant taking away the chance from his friend. And he was doing just that, dodging every attack from Electivire. However, he could not dodge them all, and two bolts managed to hit him. This gave him an impressive 28 points, but despite this he was still in the fourth place, meaning that he was eliminated. Ray and Akari consoled him by saying that there was always next time, and with a little more practice he would definitely qualify next time. Even Gary felt a little bit sad about him, but did not show it. Gary went on to pick Oshawott, upsetting Ash even more, as it was his first choice. Akari picked the fire-type Cyndaquil, stating that it could come in handy lighting campfires and smoke signals. And if any of you are mad that I didn't give her Oshawott, here's a picture explaining and justifying almost everything, at least in my opinion. So please don't get mad. Before picking Rowlet, Ray gave Ash a sad look, feeling bad for him, but Ash just smiled and gave his friend a thumbs up. Although he was heartbroken, he was still happy for his friend. And that goes on to show a lot about Ash as a character in this story. Silent also felt bad for Ash and asked him if he wanted to join security or medic corps instead. She would send a personal recommendation on his behalf, but Ash told her that it was his dream to be in Survey Corps, just like his father. And as tough as Silent was, this comment absolutely made her heart melt. Silent asked him to visit Commander Kamado and request him to give him another chance. The commander was an intimidating presence, and as Ash walked into his office, he was extremely nervous. He was like basically shitting bricks at this point. Before Ash could say anything, Kamado told him that he knew of Ash's request beforehand, and although he would not entertain such requests, Ash's courage to join the Survey Corps was commendable indeed, and very few people had the courage to actually pick Survey Corps when they have another choices. He gives Ash a Pokeball and tells him that if he is able to capture a Pokemon, he will allow him to be a part of the Survey Corps. Ash thanks him and promises not to disappoint. Ash returns home and tells his mother Delia about what had happened, and Delia tries to encourage him by saying that at least he has a second chance to qualify and he should use it wisely. But for the meantime, she needs him to clean the garden of unwanted weed. Sorry about the artwork here. I just copied Delia's head and put into Shizune's artwork from Naruto. So really sorry about that. I will fix it really soon. Ash gets to cleaning the garden, wondering how and which Pokemon can he catch in the village. The guards will never allow him to go outside without a Pokemon, so his options are limited to the village itself. He suddenly notices an odd looking grass amongst the flower bed. He walks up to it and grabs it, and notices that it's really soft and fluffy. As he pulls it out, he notices it to be a Pokemon. He exclaims in joy, having finally found a Pokemon to capture. Although he does not know what Pokemon it is, he is glad to have anything instead of nothing. However, the yellow mouse has other plans, as it zaps Ash with a thundershock before running away. Ash, having hit by Electivire's attacks is conditioned to handle this today, and gives the mouse a chase. Using the basket that he uses for collecting flowers, he traps the mouse. It lets out another thundershock that fries the basket and sends Ash flying. Ash somehow gets up and notices the Pokemon escaping. He thinks to himself that if this Pokemon escapes now, he may never get a chance to qualify for the team. Then he realizes that he has something in his pocket. He takes out the Pokeball given to him by the captain and throws it at the running mouse. Although his aim is off, his body is still feeling the shock of the electricity, and through sheer dumb luck, this is enough to tweak the angle, and the ball barely manages to touch the tip of the Pokemon's long tail. This triggers the capture, and the Pokeball begins to shake violently. Ash dives on top of it, trying to stop it from escaping. Using the last ounce of its energy, the mouse lets out one last thundershock from inside the ball, but Ash holds on for dear life, and then it stops. Although Ash is fried, he has finally managed to capture his first Pokemon, thus giving him a chance to qualify for the Survey Corps, finally. And guys, that's where I will be ending this part. Thank you for watching, and once again, I wish you all listening, you and your family a very happy and prosperous new year. I hope you are well, and I will see you soon.